Hello guys and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II War in Europe. We have finished our turn in the last episode. We are still getting raided by these damn Canadians. Or, the Canadians are getting raided. You know what I mean. Salmon's being hit by rough seas. I don't know what that pop-up just said because I clicked and then 2 seconds later it skipped through it. I was trying to click through the other thing, but well. France collected 124 MPPs now that they're not paying for that engineer anymore, huh? Brits are doing well. British Empire. That's how we summarize the rest of it. Just British Empire. That's funny. Poland's collecting only 17 MPPs at this point. How sad. Poland's still alive. We're going into February. We're in February 10th. And Poland is still alive. That is so funny. That is so funny, man. And now the snow is helping us, but they did manage to bomb some strength out of us. The tanks now dealing damage to Warsaw. Ooh, this might be the turn, guys. This might be the turn. Here comes a corps to do a blitz attack, but failing. This tank's really got it. 2 prepared attacks. 2 prepared attacks. Okay, one of them didn't work. Now we got an army blitz attack dealing 2 damages. Oh, I think this is the turn, guys. I think Poland is finally going to fall. Up to 3 combat experience, but down to 1 strength. It's over, guys. Guys, it's over. Warsaw has fallen. And with it, Poland finally falls in February of 1940. They're going to keep trying to attack over here at Modlin, but it's not going to achieve anything. It'll get them a little bit of combat XP, I suppose. They take a little bit of damage, but now that Warsaw has fallen, Poland is finally done. I'm so proud that it lasted this long. I had no idea Poland could last this long. Absolute insanity. And they haven't even really processed that it's dead yet, I think, because they're still running around there trying to do stuff. I don't know what the heck these Italians are doing, but they're running in circles. The AI of War in Europe doesn't feel as good as the AI of World at War. I feel like they made a lot of improvements in World at War. British celebrate the capture of the Altmark in Norwegian waters. Polish morale collapses from the fall of Warsaw. Yeah, that's to be expected. Poland surrenders. Germany plunders 311 MPPs. That's really, really good for Germany. Germany forces the Red Army to fall back to the Soviet frontier as they occupy all of Poland. What? Oh my god, the Germans didn't keep their word? Furious at the betrayal of the German-Soviet non-aggression pact. That's crazy. They didn't keep their word. That might give us some mobilization for Russia. It also means that this is the front. Germany transferred former Polish territory to Lithuania. Okay. I did not see this coming. France industrial mobilization for the war effort. Oh, the mines are getting going. Continues mobilization. The mines are getting going. That's good. Was it waiting for Poland to fall? Like, what was it waiting for? Prussian army destroyed? I have no idea because, again, I've never played this one. That's crazy. Red Army deployment at future conflict. Yep. Leningrad will get a bunch of stuff. 1 HQ, 1 Rifle Corps. I'm only concerned with the land stuff, honestly. Baltic Front will get Rifle Corps, Mechanized Corps, Fighter, TAC Bomber. Western Front, Vinica, 1 HQ, 2 Rifle Corps, 2 Mechanized Corps, a fighter unit. A lot of mechanized, man. 2 mechanized at Proskurov Rifle Corps. Plus, light tank units will be deployed near Minsk. Light tanks. Zhytomyr, Ostrov, Rifle Corps at Moscow, Stalingrad, Rostov. This feels like a different setup of units than we would expect to have. It really does. And we have a new cruiser joining the fray for the Frenchies. So Poland's finally fallen. This is going to be the border. We are staring at the border right now. The Germans get a surprise attack bonus, so there is an inherent problem with defending the actual border, I must say. A problem that I'm not sure how we're really going to cross. But I've already set up some fortifications. This, along with the entrenchments, might help as it spits out the units that are going to reinforce theoretically behind everything that's already there. I didn't expect Minsk to be a main front, but I guess it will be. I didn't expect Polotsk to be a main front, but I guess it will be. Meaning I don't really know what's going to happen in terms of moving into Latvia exactly, but I guess we'll figure it out. I mean, there's a Moscow Corps that doesn't actually need to stay on Moscow. That's not even Moscow proper. Yeah, let's go ahead and move the Moscow core, start moving it southwest. It can move pretty quickly. We're going to get that over to like Polotsk area, I'd say. And for now, this engineer's done its job. I'm not sure where it should fortify next. Maybe moving backwards and fortifying somewhere nearby. Holy Jesus Christ. By doing what they did, the Germans have mobilized the USSR from 17% to 67%. What is this AI doing, man? This is crazy. Well, there's a chance the USSR simply won't be attacked to begin with anyway, just like last time. I mean, look at what it did to the income. As the USSR, we started out with like 50. It went to a low of like 30 something, and now it's all the way up to 80 plus. That is just insane. Let's get some infantry weapons research going. We're going to need that as soon as possible, so let's definitely get to work on it. I don't want to operate the engineers, spend money wasted on operating. I'd rather wait till the other engineers I paid for already get ready. But this is a series of events that I really did not expect. I have an idea. It might be a silly idea, but it's an idea. I'll move this plane here, double time these guys back here, set up a fortification with 3 sides facing southwest, because then it'll face this way, and this way, and can help defend this town and this spot here as a choke point of sorts. I could even set one up over here that has like, I guess 2 sides. It could also just have one, but I could have 2 sides, one facing slightly across the river potentially. I don't know, it's a weird idea. It might just be better off moving, but it would take the same amount of time to move back a step and start fortifying as it would take to just start fortifying right here and put it here. So, it's just an idea. It's an idea that's wacky and weird, but it might be helpful. And then fortify this region, because this would be like the next fallback, really, on the road to Moscow. This is kind of filled with forests and its own possible entrenchments. This is maybe the more problematic position to be worried about. Yeah, for sure. Now, the Germans do own, outside of winter, even during winter, 200 plus. They earn 200 plus, so the Soviets earning 80. Right now, this is in the winter, of course, instead of 50 is not the biggest deal, but that will add up. That will make a big difference, especially because mobilization is only going to go up. So hopefully that difference ends up being one that's good for us. And would you look at this? This is already set up. Is 40 days like 1 turn? I don't think it's supposed to be, because 14 days is 1 turn. Yeah, this has already been set up, this defense. That's not what I expected. Well, goddamn, we have a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and swap the engineers onto the front and fortify 2 sides facing north. So up here and up here to defend against that. Swap that guy back in when the moment strikes itself. We'll have 2 entrenchment minimum, but still, that sounds pretty good. Maybe a little risky with it just chilling on the front like that, but everybody else is reinforced and ready to go, just not that tactical bomber. Yeah, not the tactical bomber. You're free to keep going towards Tunis, and we can maybe reinforce and get these corps sent up here as well. At this point, I am half tempted to save for infantry weapons, because if we could get that for France, it would make a lot of a difference. I just don't know if we're going to be able to actually wait that long. Infantry warfare would be more realistic. I could afford it right now in one go. Infantry weapons is a lot more expensive and would take a whole nother turn to start getting, and then we'd be limited for time. Oh yeah, there's also these corps down here. Totally forgot about them. Let me reinforce this one. Reinforce this one. These guys got to get all nice and reinforced. That brings us down to 46 pretty much immediately. That would stop us from getting any research done at all. We could do +3 with the... This is an army? Holy shit, I did not realize we had a whole ass army down here. I don't know if there's enough time to fix this, but I can try. Yes, I can sure try. Let's get you headed up this way and get the 1st Corps headed down south to kind of fill in. We're just going to have an extra army that might be placed somewhere near Verdun or something. That's a whole nother army. It's going to have to be reinforced and set up properly. I just didn't realize we had that there. I had no stinking clue. I'll move you out of the way. We'll transport you. That's 25 MPPs. Sail you over there, drop you off. And I guess... Well, with that, you know, like, I could have just left that guy up there, for example. I don't know. We'll just move you over here for now. That'll be good. 21 MPPs. I need to figure myself out, man. The British, in the meantime, will go ahead and move this corps over here. I can get an upgrade for mobility for the WDF Army. That seems like a capital idea, doesn't it? Let's go back to modernizing my Navy. So we're upgrading this destroyer here. Move you out, move you in, swap you so we can upgrade you. Oh, I can't upgrade you. Alright, well, fair enough. 201 MPPs remaining. Let's swap you in so we could get you upgraded. Heavy cruiser. There you go. Let's... Oh, did I move him in? Is that why? No, I swapped him. Oh, well, shit, I don't know. Move you forward. Let's just assume that will happen like that forever. So the Polish unit did live. It did live, and it takes British stuff. So I can go ahead and get that upgraded this turn, reinforced the next turn. Let's go ahead and swap you in, light cruiser. Get you all upgraded. You guys are fully upgraded already. So we can go ahead and move you to like this. And then... move you to up here to get your upgrades. That looks good to me. I'm also not using Belfast, I'm realizing. Let's go ahead and move someone down there to use Belfast properly, why don't we? That would be a capital idea. I'm also not using over here, or over here. Here. Go ahead, move you guys around like that. Beyond that, there's very little remaining to be upgraded. Let me move you back into the Bristol Channel. Let me move you over towards London to get your upgrades. And then we have 141 MPPs remaining. I'm just going to hold on to that for right now and go for infantry weapons with America, spend their MPPs on that. And then we can't forget about this sub. Let's go ahead and try to run into it with a destroyer. It has moved! And they weren't raiding, which theoretically means that they're not... No, here they are. Not along here anymore. We found them. Trading 1-for-1 destroyer with a sub is actually pretty good. They went into silent mode, that's why. Let's go ahead and follow up with another attack. It dives. We don't know if it took any damage then. I don't know where it went, but we are on the case with the Canadians. The Canadians shall defend us. Alright, and then I think that's another turn already. I'll just hold on, yeah, to the British MPPs. They just need to wait. And then we're good to go. Let's go ahead and end our turn. French morale suffers from the fall of Poland. Yep. Germany celebrates victory over Poland, the return of Danzig. Although the enemy occupied our territory, they have not broken our fighting spirit, the Prime Minister of Poland. Thousands of our soldiers escaped to neutral countries and thousands more are returning to their homes to form an underground army. The question facing us is whether those men who escaped abroad should make their way to Britain or France. Whichever country we head for, we hope to obtain government approval for our own armed forces. Would you like to order our soldiers to head to Britain or France? If you say yes, with British approval, we'll have the opportunity to form a Polish corps in the UK. If you say no, the French can form one near Paris. It would be best to say yes if you think strengthening Britain's armed forces is a greater priority, or no if you wish to increase France's chance of withstanding invasion. Given the historic ties between France and Poland, it would be only natural for thousands of Poles who escaped Nazi onslaught to head to France. So, in World at War, they just defaulted to France. France just gets it no matter what, which is quite interestingly different. France, it's an interesting trade, right? Because France does need units. They need the units. But they don't have the MPPs to do a lot with those units, is the downside. Regardless, this is just that. It is a free unit. Whichever side doesn't get it can just buy another one. And who is more capable of buying another one? Well, that would be Britain, of course. So let's go ahead and send this down to France. 27 communist deputies are given 27. What a weird way to write that. Prison sentences for disaffection. And we get some tech progress, and there you go. Britain collects way more MPPs than France, man. It's not even close. It's not even close. The downside is we're not going to have any advanced infantry weapons to defend ourselves with as France. But numbers are numbers, man, and a free corps is a free corps. Might as well take it. That's what France needs, I guess, for the defense, is numbers. They will be at a disadvantage, though. That is only as Germany will be upgrading their units. And I don't know how many of their units they will stop to upgrade. With 311 extra MPPs, they certainly can send quite a lot. Right now, they're probably busy operating everything they have from Poland westwards, now that it has officially fallen. German forces have officially moved into Denmark, so they've probably done that by event. Gracie Fields visits the BEF in France. Don't know who that is, but they seem happy to see her. There you go. Germany's occupied Denmark. That definitely cost some MPPs as well. Thousands of Polish soldiers who escaped from Poland are arriving in France. They wish to carry on the struggle against Germany. Just as we formed a Polish army in France in 1918, the new Polish Prime Minister asked that we do the same again today. Therefore, ask permission to form the Polish First Corps on our soil. It will cost 50 MPPs, 25 for 2 turns. It shall be formed at Le Mans, southwest of Paris. Shall you give permission to form it? Increase our ability to defend France? Say yes. Isn't this exactly what I suggested? So, yeah, of course. The Frenchies have to pay for it, but hey. The Frenchies also get another HQ, baby! Spawning over by Paris. I'll just plop him down right over here for right now. And the second engineers for the Soviets have been made. I think I'll start over by Vinica. This is where the attacks will start as well. And get fortifications facing westwards. Just on 2 sides going. I think that'll be pretty good. These fortifications are still building, so this is a 2-turn thing. I wonder why the other ones were able to build it in 1. I don't know. But they haven't started invading yet, so it should be good for now. This is the only, like, clear one over here. This is a field as well. These 2 are fields. But this one's at a more centered location. We have a river over here to help with any of that. 148 MPPs as the Frenchies. We can almost finally get over here to Tunis. Almost, but we are within 5 hexes. That is enough to get a transport going. So let's go ahead and transport the Tunisia Corps. And let's make some room for it. Get it transferred. And we need to actually move something else. Drop that off at Marseille. So this is not going to be needed up north, in fact. I'll just move you back to where you were to get you entrenching. We need to reinforce the Alps army here. And we'll, like, fill it in up here as well. The French could honestly cover this whole front by themselves, just, you know, sparsely at this rate. Getting a whole new army is going to be a pretty good boon. Definitely, definitely. 61 MPPs remaining right now. That would not be enough to research infantry weapons with another turn. But there are things down here that could use reinforcements as well. The Algeria Corps can get up to 10. This cannot do anything right now. We can then go ahead and reinforce 1 point into these tactical bombers. Let's go ahead and put 1 point into these tactical bombers. Sure, why not? Also, the Dunkirk battleship needs to head into the Mediterranean. So I'll get that down to the Gibraltar. I had forgotten all about that, I guess. Lord Gort will keep heading east. I'm going to try to get him to Chalons to stay with his boys. We have so many MPPs as Britain. It is hysterical. We're going to focus on the modernization still. These modernization efforts for our ships. Not these Canadian ones, obviously. Because they've already kind of come out here. I'm going to send you guys just down in a line. Okay, that looks good. Send you guys down. And we found that same German U-boat. We'll attack it. We did sustain some damage, unfortunately. It is what it is. We're doing our job. This will probably stop them from raiding. Probably. 390. We don't have ASW yet anyway. We just need to trade blows, really. And we'll come out on top. Continue upgrading. Continue upgrading. Continue upgrading. And then I think... Oh, we need to reinforce the Polish destroyer. A free Polish destroyer. Quote-unquote free. We have to reinforce it and everything, so I don't know if that's free, but hey. Upgrade this destroyer. And we have now reinforced, gotten everything good to go. Pretty nice and alright. Now we need to form up some kind of a fleet. Alright, well we have something resembling a fleet here. There's still more ships to add to it. This would be shipped out to the Mediterranean, essentially. Now, I know there will be events once Italy gets involved to get more units down here, so I'm just going to let that be as it is, because I think we could probably do well enough with what's already down there anyway. What I'm going to do with this massive amount of MPPs we have lying around is I'm going to start, well, purchasing a unit here. And I think the unit I'm going to purchase is going to be land-based. We're already researching by default the improvement to this kind of unit, and that would be heavy artillery. And the reason I think heavy artillery could be useful is for this reason. First off, I can exactly recruit it with all available upgrades. The artillery weapons, that'll come later. The upgrade. It is being researched. We would have it for pretty much the whole game. I am going to purchase it while I explain to you why. So we're going to purchase that because it'll arrive in August. My idea is we could ship it to France and have it basically make up for a lack of technical innovation by defending any units that are attacked next to it, especially over here in this region. Potentially also freeing up spare armies to move elsewhere if they've survived that long. If France starts getting steamrolled and there's absolutely nothing that I can do about it, then instead, at the very least, one or both heavy artillery could easily be transferred in this theater for one of two purposes. Number one, for reinforcing Greek front lines with the same general strategy. For number two, basically working as planes in Egypt, but they're not planes, you know? So they can't get intercepted. They'd move slowly, but the mobility would help them with the front line in a pretty slow front where supply is low anyway, and planes are expensive and hard to deal with. So it's a defensive unit that can be used on every land front that I am seeing. And it's also an offensive unit, kind of in the same way. Could be good for Egypt, could be good for France, and even for Greece, especially if we just go ahead and buy a bunch of Greek infantry. Don't know how much usage it will really see. I don't know which one of these things will work out, but that is kind of how I want to try to make it work out. USSR has some good funding. I'm going to go ahead and spend that on some command and control to buff up their HQs, because they're going to get a lot of HQs when the battle begins, and because we're defending the front line, the HQs won't all just get slaughtered instantaneously, theoretically. Some of them might, but for the most part, they probably won't. So let's go ahead and do that. Keeps my research going, and we could definitely afford to do more research than we would otherwise do because, yep, forget about 80. Now that it's not like winter anymore, we're earning over 140 due to all the mobilization the Germans granted us by not honoring the treaty. I think they're scripted to honor that treaty in World at War. Regardless, yeah, going from 50 to 140 something, they like 3 times our MPPs by doing what they did, 17 to 67%. And it's only going to get higher, remember that. Maybe it was good that I took that 3% off. We could definitely afford it. The Germans, meanwhile, are still earning about 240 right now is what they are earning after all that. They did get the massive buff, and they did spend a lot of it on research, but still, look at what they did. Now the Soviets will have a lot of time to start to catch up in research and then also to purchase units. And boy, oh my, they're going to need units. Speaking of, let's get these armies to the front to take up these fortified positions, the corps on their flanks. Army on Minsk, and that is a pretty strong defense of Minsk. Now we need defenses for other things as well, which is going to be a topic of concern. I know I was getting this headed west for Polotsk, so something could just sit there and hold that while the army still move up to Riga and Daugavpils. Man, this is so entrenched. Maybe I just move the corps up there, the army up here. I don't know, because this place kind of needs it more at this point, you know? Unless I could just get more armies to spawn out of my ass, which, I mean, theoretically I could. We don't need this army on Leningrad. We're just going to get an army on Leningrad, and we know we don't really need anything on Leningrad. Honestly, yeah, with that in mind, we know things are going to spawn up here. We know Finland's not going to be a front. Let's start moving this south as well. Let's do that. Let's move this south as well. That sounds like a plan, Sam, to me. And I'll move you south as well, because we're just going to redisperse these. And you're going to go sit on Leningrad for me. Leningrad proper as anti-air, because I don't know. Apparently, that's what they want to put there. I feel like I'd prefer to have like a core or something over there, but we're going to make do with what we have at the beginning. Moscow is protected by anti-air, for fuck's sake. This, I'm really going to have to figure out. This is really short on manpower. I'm focusing the research first, and then potentially, you know, going for other things later. We're getting 140 a turn. A lot of this research is more than half done as it is. It is iffy to say how much of this we'll be able to afford, but we are we're over a year from when they're supposed to invade Russia. And they're kind of behind schedule right now. So they only have like 3 turns to take over all of France and still be on schedule. Now, being out of schedule with France is honestly quite normal. Still, this is only good for us. Now, I think everyone's done everything we could ever want them to do, and we're out of MPPs to do anything else with. So let's go ahead and end our turn and see what happens. Fortress complete. I feel like that's the first time I've seen a notification about it. Demonstrations against Denmark's annexation cause disruption in Reykjavik. Yeah, and we'll get that for free if this is anything like World at War. A lot of tech going. USSR got anti-tank weapons 1. Paying for the Polish Corps with the Frenchies. They're at 113 now. I might save their MPPs. No, maybe not. I think I have other things to do. They just attacked our destroyer, taking more damage than they dealt, which is very, very good for a trade like that. That works out for us. That drains more from them than it drains from us, and it forces them to go back to somewhere safe for them sooner rather than later. So that is definitely really good. This is a way better start than we had in World at War. The AI, I don't know if they're just worse in this game or what, but this, I feel really good. I feel surprisingly good. Maybe I won't feel as good when France falls, but hey. Germany invades Norway, so that event is firing. That was another thing. America protests Germany's aggression, which means it'll get some more MPPs. We did Operation Valentine to occupy the Faroe Islands, for whatever that's worth. Doesn't mean anything in this game. German forces secured Narvik, Oslo, Trondheim, Bergen, Stavanger, and Kristiansand. Norwegian forces damaged the rail network as they retire to the hinterland. Norwegian batteries in Osford inflict casualties on the German invasion force. Yep. Vidkun Quisling proclaims himself the Prime Minister of Norway. Alright. They still haven't begun the invasion of France, so that's pretty good for us. In Russia, we just need to move some things around. We'll have an army here, army here, army here, just like planned initially. 14th Army will go there. We'll have the 13th Army, I guess, just kind of waiting over here, right? I don't know. You can just wait here. You'll have plenty of time, theoretically. You guys are in your entrenchments, everything looking good. And this corps can go sit over in Ostrov as a bit of a backup, I suppose. That can be its fate. Then we have some MPPs. We'll go ahead and research some infantry warfare. As we know, that is a one-off research. The Soviets, especially, could use this because they're primarily infantry-based, at least this early on. With the Frenchies, I will go ahead. I'm going to move the 1st Army back here because they still haven't begun the invasion of Belgium. So I'm going to move them back. I'm going to move the engineers up here. And what are we going to really need? We only really need this facing one direction, honestly. We don't need multiple directions here. We can take multiple directions. I guess I would give up Lille before I would give up a lot of other things. I don't think Dunkirk would actually fall as easily. So we'll fortify facing, yep, exactly this way. Not northward. So, you know, hopefully that doesn't fall. But I still think that should be easier to keep. Get on that immediately. You will just step forward into the entrenchments. 2 out of 4. 2 turns to get back up. That's fine. I'm going to reinforce, fortify as much of this front line as I possibly can. There are 3 main points of interest. Here, here, and here. And we've already kind of fortified the front and back here. So fortifying the front here could certainly be a task as well. It'll be done June 4th, which... April, May, June. That'll be in like 2 turns. So that's when also this guy will be fully entrenched. Let's hope we have the 2 turns before they reach here. I mean, we definitely probably do, right? We probably do. If anything, they'll find a half-dead engineer in a fortification and we can just like swap him. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully that's good. We have 113 MPPs remaining as France. Let's go ahead and reinforce the Tunisia Corps here. I'll move the Algeria Corps up to Lyon for right now. And with that, we are out of time for this episode, though. So I'm going to have to call this here. So for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.